Welcome everyone to Anderson, South Carolina, home of the Anderson University Trojans here, where we have a matchup between the Anderson University Trojans women's basketball team joined by their visiting Cobra Cokers. And we have here a matchup between these two as the Cobras come in red hot, a 7-0 start with 5-0 in conference play. They have been dominant throughout their time here in the beginning of the SAC conference here under the 5th season of Melissa DeVore here as we got the starting tip-off here.
And don't get it twisted with Anderson. They're also starting off relatively hot these past 3 games, winning 2 of the past 3. Coach JB winning his 200th career game against Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, most definitely, because you also had the additions of Diamond McDowell as well as Zamaya Passmore as you get a quick bucket there for, and speaking of which, that would be Zamaya Passmore with the bucket.
Yeah, Zamaya Passmore is a great player. Last game against Lincoln Memorial, she was filling the stat sheet, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists.
Yeah, a big thing for this Trojans lineup has been the ball beyond the arc. One of the biggest struggles for this team has been their inconsistent three-point shooting. We'll see if they're able to improve that today here as Passmore takes the ball up and filling that role as the point guard for this team. Sheridan now with the ball. Passmore setting up the offense as we got a little off-ball screen. That one going to be no good there from McDowell with her first shot of the game.
You know, you live with those. Obviously not what she expected, but she's such a talented player, and she knows that it wasn't the best shot, but keep shooting if you're her.
Good defense there by Peyton Oliver. Oliver playing aggressive there. Now Gravel on defense. Tillman back to the outside. Ferguson with the shot there, no good. Passmore driving it down, going coast to coast, finds Gravel for the 2.
Yeah, that was a great play by Passmore, turning that missed shot into a transition opportunity.
Yeah, that's one thing that you look for. The inexperience when you didn't have her on early in the season, it showed as you really weren't able to get those transition buckets, something that you need to have in this type of environment here in the SAC. That ball making its way into Tillman. Tillman, the point guard for the Cobras, scoring just shy of 16 points a game so far this season. Gonna find herself short on that one. McDowell now taking it up. Gravel down low. Once again, Gravel with the transition bucket.
Very smooth of Gravel too. As she was going up, she noticed that Kamara Thompson from Coker was coming her way. Held the ball for a split second to allow Thompson to go by.
Couple of bad shots there. Oliver out in front. The transition offense unable to make the bucket that time.
And that's one of those situations, if you're Oliver, you want to initiate the contact.
Good stand-up defense there from Oliver. Unable to get the basket, but you're going to get a foul. I believe that's going to be a foul there on Kamari Thompson.
That's correct. And Anderson off to a quick 6-0 lead with possession. And the biggest thing I'm noticing is that they're just getting out in transition. 2 of the 3 baskets were in transition. And if you can play fast and have the defense at the disadvantage, trying to catch up, buckets will come pretty easily.
Most definitely, and it's something that it kind of gets rid of that prior concern that I talked about with behind the arc. If you're just shooting layups from up front, you don't have to worry about that as Oliver misses the opening 3-pointer for the Trojans.
Anderson really expected Oliver to step up this season. She was one of those players that you could always rely on for making a 3 last year. Now she's only shooting 19% from behind the arc. I know it's only a third of the season through, so she can find her stroke. It can be really helpful for this Trojan team.
Yeah, Mariah Mitchum with the foul there. Looked to be an over-the-back call. So the Trojans will now have the ball on their own side of the court.
Looks like it's full court man pickup by the Cobras. Try and limit that transition attack.
Push ahead there, some good defense there from Tillman. That ball going to be last touched by Gravel, and it's going to find its way as a turnover there by the Trojans. As I believe we have a bit of a wet spot here on the floor, have a great grounds crew here.
Court crew.
Court crew.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the best word there. So used to like football or stuff like that where it's grounds. I'm like, what would that be?
I'll rock out with the court crew. Something, I want to talk about while we're in this intermission is this game I think is really going to be decided on the turnover battle. Coming into this game, Coker, they're a team that forces 13 steals, while Anderson forces 8 steals. Both teams, though, averaging 18 turnovers themselves. So I think it's one of those things where they both can force turnovers, but they're also very prone to turnovers. So whoever can limit it is going to probably most likely win this game.
Yeah, it's something that definitely played a factor in the Trojans' upset win over Carson Newman earlier on in the season. When Carson Newman was up to number 5 in the country, they were able to get a big win there, really playing a big role in a Trojan upset where they still did not have a win in the SAC.
So what do you think happened here? What do you think? They spilled something? Maybe some water, some soda? Not soda. You can't see it. It can't be sweat.
I'm guessing that's water. If it's that big of a spill,
It's got to be. Was it from those kids? I mean, they just pull up and they spill water 10 seconds into it.
I don't know.
Come on.
Or they're just the fall man for it.
They're
you
just
would
the fall
assume
man.
The kids there.
Blame it on the kids. It's easy to blame it on the kids. Not fair. Not fair.
Yeah, back to some basketball action here in Anderson as we get a shot there. Thompson unable to make that one go. Still scoreless here, about 3 minutes and some change here in the first quarter. Good behind the back move by Passmore, able to find the bucket there.
She's by far the craftiest player on this team, obviously putting together a great year when she's in the games.
A good clean block there from McDowell.
And you touched on it earlier. McDowell and Passmore are making the return to the lineup in quite some time. With these two there, I think this season can have a complete turnaround for the Trojans.
Yeah, this was a Trojans team that you mentioned it. They really have struggled in the first little bit of this season, but they've started to turn it around. They've had some up and down parts. There is Oliver looking for Ashley Sheridan, but nobody was home there.
Those are always the worst turnovers because you know what you were trying to do. You know what Sheridan in that situation was trying to do. It just didn't connect. You were thinking the same thing but went the opposite way.
Yep. That pressure defense still playing on as Tillman now with the ball. Back over to Mitchum. Mitchum now driving outside. A good kick. Tillman open for 3. Unable to make it there.
Here's that transition offense we keep seeing from Anderson.
McDowell with the 3. Opening up a big lead there. Passmore with some good defense. And a good bucket there coming courteous. Maya Wassa.
Payne Oliver wide open.
4-3. Unable to make that one go. Oliver now 0 for 2 from behind the arc. And as I was mentioning earlier, this was a Anderson team that had a couple of close games at the very beginning as another good drive there. Mariah Mitchum with the bucket. 11-6, starting to close the gap are the Cobras. Another turnover there. Back to the Trojans, another turnover.
Well, let's see if everyone's turnover battle wins. It seems like neither one of them want to win that turnover march. I'm just passing it back and forth.
Yeah, I think they didn't understand your point. It wasn't who had the most turnovers; it's who has the least, guys. Passmore from beyond the arc, and it's drained. Nothing but net.
She's on fire. 7 points. She has half of the points for Anderson. She's beating Coker on her own right now, 7-6.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for from an upperclassman in Passmore. And a wide open three-pointer there, unable to make that one go. Ball bounced way up in the air, and foul going to be, I assume, on Diamond McDowell. Yep, the foul will be on Diamond McDowell on the floor. I believe we're going to be heading to a quick media timeout. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
It's an ordinary Tuesday at AnMed. Dr. Shu just performed a robotic hip replacement surgery. Dave put a smile on a kid's face during physical therapy. And Sonia, she was part of a team that performed a cutting-edge pulmonary procedure. And while it's all in a day's work for each of them, it's also much more than that. It's part of our commitment to bring something extraordinary to healthcare in the upstate, even on ordinary Tuesdays.
A staple in downtown Anderson since 2019, Groucho's Deli continues to honor the tradition of serving high-quality products and ingredients that started it all back in 1941. Located at 129 East Whitner Street, Groucho's is your go-to destination for warm deli sandwiches, fresh salads, and award-winning sweet tea. Stop by and try our legendary Formula 45 sauce today.
Welcome back to Anderson as the Trojans have exploded to a 14-6 lead behind a couple of three-point jumpers, one of them coming courteous of Zamaya Passmore, who has 7 points on the day, has had an explosive day at the beginning of this game.
Yeah, Zamaya Passmore, we mentioned it earlier, she had 21 points, 8 rebounds last game. She's picking up where she left off, absolutely dominating. The thing, I've covered Anderson basketball for quite a few years, and Passmore last year, she had, a big effect on the team, but the leap she's taken this season in terms of impact has been tremendous. It seems like she's now their go-to player, surpassing Diamond McDowell, which is saying a lot.
It most definitely is, as you're going to have a foul here on Oliver. It's going to be Oliver's first.
But it's nice having Passmore on the court because, as we know, she, her name speaks for itself. She's a pass-first type of player. She is a point guard. She helps facilitate this entire offense scoring-wise and for both moving the ball and getting up shots. So with her on the court, again, Anderson's looking really good. I mean, I know it was early on, but they're leading a Cobra team that nobody's been able to beat, 14-6.
Yeah, this is a Coker Cobras team that last year went 17-11, had a very productive season, but nowhere near the top of the conference, as they were kind of in the middling part of the pack. And this team has really started to turn on here in the 5th season under Melissa DeVore. Pushing it ahead, Sheridan with the jumper, and it's good. 16-8 now your score. Under 4 minutes to play now. Tillman taking it up. Passing it ahead now to Knight.
Wow.
Knight putting in her blender here. Gets it inside. A good pass there. Unable to make it go the first time. Unable to make it go the second time. If not succeed that first try again, I guess.
Now she's being sent to the free throw line. Obviously not what you want to see if you're Anderson, right? You have 2 great stops on a player who's second in the SAC conference in field goal percentage with 57%. And then third time she happens to be fouled again. Ball don't lie though. Ball doesn't lie. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I'm sure that's what Anderson's thinking.
Yeah, that's a tough roll. That ball rolled all the way around the rim, coming straight out. That one making a 1 for 2 at the line there. Coming courteous of Kamara Thompson. Sheridan pushing it ahead to Oliver. Oliver with the jumper. Unable to make that one go. Kristen Knight with the rebound. Passing off to Wassa. Passmore now with the ball, driving that transition defense, pushing it ahead to McDowell. Could not have put it better up.
I mean, that was just nasty. She looked one way through with the other, found McDowell, caught the defense lacking right there on a 2-on-2 situation.
Sheridan got past her. Gravel now with the rebound. McDowell pushing it ahead. McDowell pushing the other side of the court. Sheridan unable to make the shot. I'm going to assume that one a little bit flat-footed, kind of just pushed it up. with her arms. No jump on that one. Tillman now with the ball. Rebound there from McDowell. McDowell now pushing it up. Passmore now. Now to the elbow is Gravel.
Down goes Powell.
Oliver's, yeah, Oliver's down. Oliver looked like she was down there, and I believe that did not look good.
It's one of those things you don't like to see, considering it was a non-contact injury.
Yeah, non-contact lower leg. That is not what you want to see. Best case scenario with that type of injury is possibly a sprained ankle, but even then, that's not what you want to see there from a starter. She looks to be grabbing at her ankle. Back to the court, Sheridan from 3, hits off the front part of the iron, no good. Push ahead now coming from Ferguson. Sheridan on Taylor, now to Ferguson once again. Ferguson, good bucket there. Getting the foul there on Gravel.
If you're Coker, you are just breathing a sigh of relief. And before that shot, they were 3 for 20 from the field. 3 for 20. That's terrible. That's pretty horrible. It doesn't sound legit to me. It doesn't sound real. Now they're 4 for 21. Seems like there's a bit of a momentum swing there. You get a stop on defense. You get an and one opportunity on the offensive side of the ball.
Yep, Anderson now going with a little bit of a bigger lineup now with Mom Chow in, along with McDowell, Profit, Sheridan, and Passmore. A much smaller lineup in comparison for Coker. Profit now with the ball, the open jumper. Going to be good there, make it 20-12. Or my apologies, that was Preston, not Passmore. I didn't see Passmore even go out. Got past Sheridan there. That ball way up. Hit off the back part of that, so gonna head in the Trojans' direction. Now under a minute to play here.
Yeah, this is one of the situations where you're asking, do we go for the 2-for-1 or just the best shot if you're Anderson? And I think the way things are going, just find the best shot and score if you can.
Yep, as we get a good drive here from Preston.
Or you can, hit a bird with, what was it? What's the saying? 2 birds, 1 stone?
Yeah, that does work. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone, yeah.
That's exactly what happened there. Got the free throw opportunity. And with the shot clock at 30 seconds, they'll have about 9 to 10 seconds remaining if Coker were to theoretically hold the ball for that long.
That, or you miss the second part of it and you get a rebound. All the possibilities.
Now we're diving too far into it.
Preston with 2 shots here. First one able to make it in, extending it to a 9-point lead, 21-12. Is your score?
On the year, Preston shooting 71% from the free throw line. The freshman from Georgia.
That one goes in as well. Coming in for the Trojans, Kyla Kane with her first couple of minutes of the game. Got a lot of playing minutes at the beginning of the season when McDowell was out, but with McDowell now back in, getting a few less. It's a drive down the lane. Coker now settling down a little bit. Ferguson passes along, then now outside to Knight. Shot no good. Chow with the rebound.
Great rebound.
Profit now playing point. Coach getting the call in. 6 seconds left. Profit with the drive. No good. Can the ball get up? 1 second less than 1. And that's the first quarter, folks. Anderson out to a 22-12 lead. A good first quarter for the hometown Trojans. So we head to a quick 30-second break. We'll be back for the second quarter action here in Anderson, South Carolina.
At Anderson University, we are on a journey, one that seeks to find the purpose for which God created each and every one of us. So we search, we grow, we dive in, and with a close-knit community, small class sizes, accomplished and supportive faculty, and a spirit that believes that together we can accomplish big things. The person we are striving to become doesn't feel so far away. So we push, we dream, we dig deeper, until our journey finds us as teachers, artists, writers, athletes, engineers, nurses, and friends. And while we're at it, we just might change the world. Anderson University, knowledge for your journey.
And we are back now here for some second quarter action here on Flow Sports. 22-12, Trojans out ahead here after the first quarter action. Trojans taking a big lead here. We'll see if the undefeated Cobras can make their way back. A good start there with a bucket. That bucket coming from Ferguson. A turnover here, and that ball will be landing in Coker's favor.
Yeah, it's one of those things right now. If you're Coker, just get your top scorers going. Ferguson obviously being one of them, having that basket. She's at 7 points, I believe, on the game. Yeah, 7 points. I mean, they have 3 players in the top 15 of sack scores on Coker.
Yeah, they've been a very dominant team offensively, both men's and women's. The men's team averaging 116 points coming into the game.
Ah, that's nothing. That's not a lot.
As we have another turnover, one that's not often called. You got to carry there.
Where are you going? Why are you carrying your luggage around? This is how you lose the game, though. I mean, we talked about it earlier at the start of it all. Turnover battle. And these aren't even, Coker causing issues. It's Anderson poking themselves.
And another foul there, or I say another issue there for the Trojans. This time coming courteous of Kyla Kane, her first. That will send Deja Ferguson to the line.
Yeah, Ferguson shooting 86 from the free throw line. So it's pretty safe to say that the sophomore from South Carolina is automatic.
You about to give the commentator's curse over there.
No, I'm not. Watch, she's making this. Bang.
Hey, there you go.
I don't feel bad for saying it now.
Score now cut down to a 6-point lead. Radzik ahead to Profit. Profit to Chow. Chow with a little loop around the basket. That ball tipped its way in for 2. Profit and Preston ahead with the press. Outside now. Ferguson inside. Is that ball going to be a travel call there? A little bit of a lost balanced issue. Kyla Kane now with the inbound. Preston pushing it ahead. Good press there from the Cobras. Outside, another turnover there. So you just gotta be able to have a little bit of vision there, as a Euro step, unable to make that one go.
Yeah, that's
got to stay with Coker.
Yeah, that turnover was tough because Radzika was open for the longest time. Since crossing the free throw or the half-court line, she was open. But unfortunately, Kane had that tunnel vision. I want to get to the paint. I want to get to the paint. And then she decided to have the bailout pass. And at that point, the defenders, it's 3 feet separation. Like, it's pretty easy to pick off in that situation.
Yeah. As we enter into a little bit of a quarterback camp, got to work on how you got to read that free safety. Got to see where they're at.
100%. Patrick Mahomes would never do that. Come on.
As long as you don't turn into Chris Collinsworth here.
Hey, he is great.
Radzika with the 3, unable to make that one go. Preston on defense now. Now inside to Chow. Chow bit a little bit too much on that move. Overcorrected, once again overcorrected, and that bucket coming courteous of Kamara Thompson.
Kamara Thompson is an animal. She's an absolute dog. She's second in the sack with rebounds for 11.7. Like I said, she's also one of the leading scorers in terms of efficiency. Although she's only putting up 8 points per game, when she's in the paint, you can't mess with her.
Very good point there as you have the and one, that going to be made. Down to just a 5-point lead as the Trojans led by as many as 10. Radzika in the corner. That is going to be a foul there. I believe that's going to be on Kamara Thompson.
And now she has to check out with 2 fouls. You usually don't tend to play your players, your star players, in the first half once they get 2 fouls, so keep them on later in the game. So that really, really hurts the team.
Radzika got blocked on her shot. That one, Maya Wasa with the block. A good drive there, unable to make it go. Tillman now with the ball. Haven't heard much from Coker's leading scorer in Tillman. And a travel near the paint. Myra Mitchum called for it, the senior, coming from Blythewood, South Carolina.
Yeah, so we have a huge platoon swap right now for Anderson, and it's something that's very much needed. Without Palsmore and without McDowell in the court, the team seemed lost offensively. They couldn't get anything going, and they weren't running their sets either.
Yeah, that tends to be an issue, and even on the inside, the one thing that I've seen in the games that I've called this year with Anderson is Chow has been a little bit struggled with the box out there. So that ball is going to be a lot of air on that one. No net from Preston. Push ahead here. Tillman driving inside, gets the layup to go.
And just like that, this lead is only 3 points now for Anderson, 24-21.
Sheridan ahead. Now that's going to be a foul there. Foul on Daisha Ferguson. Ferguson's first.
It's really interesting. So at the beginning of the game, Anderson was the one applying the pressure through the pace, right? They were going all out. And then as soon as Coker brought out this full press or this full man pickup, Anderson struggled offensively. And in fact, because they're struggling offensively, they're not getting shots to fall, they're the ones that are being pushed in transition. And that's why Coker is having so much success scoring inside.
Yeah, and another factor here, you've also seen a struggle when it comes to this team with turnovers, as you have another one there.
Yeah, right now Anderson has 7 turnovers this game, while Coker only has 3.
With the ball is Mariah Mitchum. Push ahead there, a steal from McDowell. McDowell going cross court and gets the layup. 26-21 now your score. And it's something that throughout this season, Anderson has struggled with, this full court press that you've seen a bucket there. Maya Wasa with the layup.
Yeah,
push ahead.
Yeah, that was a great bucket. Second of the game, now 2 for 7. Great answer there by Preston.
Trojans again pressing here. McDowell guarding here against Kanaya Stanley. The bucket does go. Ferguson with, I believe, her 11th point of the game. And we're going to get a charge here on McDowell. A little bit of an extension of the arm going to get called every time there by the official.
Yeah, McDowell a bit frustrated with that call, but that's what happens when you pick up full man and you're constantly in their face. Eventually, you want to try and get past them, and that's through physicality. But once you extend that arm on the baseline, it's always going to be called. Or pardon me, on the sideline, I should say.
So for the first time in quite some time, Coker with an ability to tie this game up as that ball directly thrown off of Passmore's leg out of bounds.
Yeah, and for Anderson, not saying that they should be scared, but it's not the greatest thing that it's only 28-25. And 2 of the 3 leading scorers for Coker on the season are being held in check pretty easily.
That ball going to be last touched there by Sheridan in the paint. And another point that you bring up with that is that this Coker team really has had a mixture of players been able to take over games, but you really haven't seen anything from their leading scorer and Shantea Tillman.
Roswa has been on a tear. I mean, back-to-back buckets. She's feeling good. Great separation by Preston.
Some good dribbling skills open her up at the elbow. Put it back to a 3-point game. And a travel there. You got to dribble before you start going.
Yeah, if you're Coker, you hate to see that type of turnover by Stanley because she had someone wide open in the paint, didn't know if she wanted to pass it down or attack with it as there was one player separating between the two of them. And I think because of indecisiveness led to the turnover as Anderson leads 30-27.
And we'll be back in 30 seconds after this media timeout.
Since 1979, the family-owned and operated Electric City team has been focused on one thing: your comfort. That single priority has allowed our company to serve the Anderson community with quality heating and cooling service, products, and installations, so you can rest assured that you are in the best hands. From residential HVAC repair or replacement to full commercial installation, we are your all-in-one heating and air conditioning company.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned.
30-27 is your score. The Trojans out in front by 3, but it's been the Cobras' second quarter outscoring the Trojan 15-8. With 4:50 left in the second quarter, we'll see what it holds, but the Cobras looking good as we approach halftime.
They're looking good, they're catching fire, and again, it's concerning because they're shooting a whopping 28.6% from the field. Meanwhile, Anderson's shooting over 50%, meaning it can only go from here if you're Coker.
Another easy basket there as Preston once again finding an opening, using her dribbling there. That one almost had a turnover, a good attempt there by Gravel, unable to get it to a Trojan. That time, gonna be kept by Gravel this time after the rebound from McDowell. Passmore ahead, pushes it ahead, finds Gravel. I don't know how she found her, but you're gonna get a foul call there. I believe that's gonna be on Diamond Jackson.
So now approaching the free throw line is Rose Gravel. She's a freshman from Florida, and I just want to point her out because her addition to this team has been incredible. She's averaging 10 points per game, 9.7 rebounds per game, which is third in the SAC conference, scoring 54% from the field, or shooting 54% from the field. So her addition has been really, really important for this Trojans team, and she really helped carry some of the load when McDowell and Passmore were out.
Has been a key contributor as a freshman, something that Coach Barbary really likes to see is that ball going to be way out and way in front and not close to any Cobras. Another turnover there for Coker. As that started to turn into the story of the game, I think the sports writers can start writing the headline, a turnover fest here in Anderson, South Carolina. Here, 33-27. The Trojans have now extended their lead to 6. McDowell backing down the defender, finds Gravel at the line. Gravel with a couple of dribbles, unable to make it go. Inside is Jackson. Jackson with the shot, finds it at the restriction line. Preston ahead, Sheridan back out to Preston. Drive from Preston to Passmore. Passmore with a little bit of issues inside. That one last touched by Passmore, going to be another turnover here for the Trojans. That's one of the things that when you go inside, you got to have a plan there, and found herself in between 3 Coker defenders and unable to get out of it. Approaching the 3-minute mark now here in Anderson. So we get a foul here on Passmore. Got a little bit too anxious on that one.
Anderson foul number 11 is Maya Passmore for first. Team 4.
Checking into the game. Couple of Cokers, or a couple of Cobras.
Cokers, Cobras, same thing. We know what you're saying.
Couple of students of Coker, a couple of Cobras athletically.
Couple CCs.
Outside to Tillman. Tillman passing it inside. Gonna get the foul call there on Gravel.
So that's smart by Tillman. Tillman hasn't really had much going for her. So what's the best thing to do? Attack the paint. You never know what's gonna happen. I mean, half the time it's a great shot, and then half of the time you're drawing the foul. So majority of the chances it's always smart to go in the paint.
And with the foul there on Gravel, you're going to have the entrance of Jessica Cooper. Cooper, a sophomore coming out of New Jersey, South Plainfield to be more specific. I'm going to make both of those to limit it to a 2-point Trojans lead. Outside to Preston, over the right there, last touch by the Trojans.
Man, I wish we were courtside. We could have caught that. I could have caught the ball if we were courtside. They got to throw it a little bit higher next time.
Yeah, they got to throw it way high to get it all the way up to us.
I'm open. I'm always open, all right?
Some perimeter ball movement here from the Cobras. Going to be rebounded there from McDowell. Trojans having a little bit of issues finding ways around the press. Preston with the open 3 hits it off the back of the rim. McDowell inside. McDowell unable to get a roll. That one going to be last touch, I believe, there by Cooper. Cobra's ball. 2:19 left on the clock. A good pass gets an open man. Pass around there. Tillman now inside. Passmore and Tillman been quite the matchup so far. A push ahead here by Wassa.
That was really sticky defense. Great outlet pass.
Passmore with what looked to be like a little hesitation there at the very end, unable to make it go.
Heard some footsteps, and once you hear them coming, you tend to adjust your shot when you just gotta go straight up with it.
The undefeated Cobras looking to continue their perfect season here to extend it to an 8-0 record. That's going to be a travel there. Ferguson got a little bit too much work there and on the feet.
That's his 7th turnover of the quarter for Cobras. Makes him feeling better. Anderson also has 7 turnovers this quarter.
Finally getting up to Passmore. I'm a little bit surprised that Coach Barbary hasn't had Passmore take up the ball a little bit more. As the primary ball handler, she really hasn't been anywhere near the press.
Yes, that's definitely a good point. Now, I think a lot of it has to do with that confidence in McDowell and that more so. Once Passmore's open on the other side of the court, she's, like we saw before, she's a great outlet for an easy bucket inside. That said, though, Passmore has been very, 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 very quiet this quarter. No points, nothing really, not a lot of going on with her this quarter for Anderson. And that could be a key contributor as to why they've had such a slow quarter, and Coker's had a lot of success because of it.
Yep, as we have a couple of substitutions here. Cooper now with the shots. The Trojans having a much more successful day, both behind the arc and at the entire shooting game in its entirety. Really, the big difference has been a combination of the free throw line and the shots that they've had that have not been able to be made due to the offensive turnovers or the offensive rebounds of Coker. Coker with 10 offensive rebounds, the Trojans with only 3. Push inside there by Taylor, unable to make it go. Another offensive rebound, make it number 11.
Koki want to shoot soon. They do, but allows for them to again have that 2-for-1 opportunity.
Passmore with the push ahead, unable to get it to go. Offensive rebound there by Cooper once again. Gonna get her back to the free throw line.
That was great play by Cooper. Just going up with it strong every time.
Cooper foul number 15, Deja Ferguson, her second. 15 foul.
That's Ferguson's second foul, the leading scorer for Coker.
Cooper now 2 for 3 from the line. Unable to get the second one to go once again. Less than 20 seconds left. The shot, and it's good. Less than 15 seconds left, now 10. Sheridan's got to push it here. Open. Preston outside, you got to take a shot. Unable to get it to go. As the Trojans had a little bit of a concern there at the end of the half, but the Trojans do find themselves out in front, 35-33. Coker looking to still defend this perfect season. We'll head to a halftime break here. We'll be back after halftime action.
Oh, yeah! Oh, I'm sorry. Was that out loud? It's because I just saved $7 shopping with Shop and Earn. Whether you're shopping in-store or online, Food Lion's Shop and Earn program makes it easy for me to rack up rewards as I shop. Thank you, Food Lion. On average, I earn about $20 in rewards a month. And that's not even counting the hot sale and everyday savings I get with my MVP card. The best part? All I have to do is activate my monthly offers and shop like normal. Here's how it works. I go to foodlion.com or sign into the Food Lion app and make sure I activate my monthly offers. Food Lion selects them just for me based on what I buy. This lets me know which items will help me earn rewards and how close I am to getting the rewards I want. And then while I shop, I earn. It's like multitasking. No stress, just rewards. Checkout is the best part. My Shop and Earn is linked to my MVP account, so any rewards earned are automatically applied. Cha-ching! Am I right?
And welcome back to our second half coverage here of the Anderson Trojans here in the Abney Athletics Center, here taking on the Coker Cobras. As on your screen, we have the first half stats, and it's been a very interesting first half. As you would look at these look at these percentage totals, see Anderson with 44% from field goal total and 25% from three. And you would think that Anderson is way out ahead, but they're not.
I mean, the biggest one is you look at the assists or turnovers and say Anderson has 8 assists and Coker has 0 ball movement. What's going on? How is this game close? Well, it's because Coker, although they're not having great ball movement, they're making difficult shots.
They really are, and the offensive rebounding game has been a struggle for the Trojans here, as you have a very interesting lineup coming out of the half here from Coach Barbary. Coach Barbary getting his 200th win on Saturday against Lincoln Memorial in the Rail Splitters. Congrats to him. As that ball goes in and out of Sheridan's hands. Straight up and down, and going to get a foul call here on gravel.
Coach JB pretty animated about how he wants his players to go stay up and down, stay vertical, don't lean in for the foul. And before he start talking about the game and everything, if you look at the crowd and you see all the kids out there, that spill was confirmed to be a soda. Okay, one of the kids had their soda spill all over the court. So, you know, when in doubt, blame the kids because you're probably right. But we still love that they're here, and they're obviously causing a lot of noise and having fun. So at the end of the day, it's worth the trade-off. Look at that, you hear that noise?
That's louder than the student section.
Come on, they're electric.
37-36 is your score after the free throw attempt. McDowell making a move here.
I mean, kids are the best. If they all agree to do something, they're going all out.
They are. They are, as all the students from Anderson are basically gone. Here is almost the only people left on campus are basically December graduates. So we have here Pat Preston with the offensive rebound. That ball in and out, found its way. I don't know how, but it found its way in as Passmore getting the tap in and getting the bucket. Some great defensive play there from the Trojans.
Yeah, that was smart by Passmore. You obviously notice that the players aren't in an ideal position on the baseline. Just kind of stick around. I mean, they're picking up full man anyway, so try applying some pressure while you can.
Good rotation here from the Trojans defense. A pass out. Coach Barbary looking for travel there for a second. Unable to get it. Tillman recovers. A drive inside. That one taken away there by McDowell. Recovered there by Sheridan. Outside to Passmore. Passmore looking for an open Trojan. Instead going to set up the offense here. Chow inside. Has a player open. Gets inside there. Passmore unable to make the bucket go. Looking for the foul call. No call, though. Sheridan, some good defense, but a rough landing there, as it looks like Mariah Mitchum fell. It almost looked like directly on her head there. Definitely not what you want to see there.
Well, the good thing is it seems like she's able to communicate to her trainer what's happening. She's leading up. Seems like everything, at least physically, is okay for her. But
Yep.
one thing I'll point out, though, for Anderson that I really have been, I guess, impressed by for the Trojans is obviously we saw Payne Oliver check out the game with her own lower leg injury, but coming in and filling that role for her has been Zanaya Preston. And she's coming and she's played really well. She has 8 points right now. She's obviously, she plays off the bench a lot this past season, but she's really stepped up in this role and playing on the first team, you could say, with the starters. And she hasn't hindered the team, and she knows the spots she needs to be at.
As Sheridan checks out there. Sheridan's been really quiet so far in the game today. Usually one of the top contributors offensively, as the kids get loud here once again for the opener of the 1-and-1. And it's no good.
They did their job. They did their job for the Trojans. Now Anderson needs to get them the W. Something to brag about.
We'll see if the Trojans can send these kids home happy. Here is McDowell going to That ball instead going to be last touched there by the Cobras. I believe they're going to say that's off Kamari Thompson. Passmore in to rebound. Inside to Chow. Chow, a good player to look for there. Diamond McDowell going to get the bucket.
That was smart. That was smart. McDowell had a great cut. Knowing that Chow was at the other end, she could be open if she blew by with those defenders.
Miscue and dribbling there. Once again, some aggressive defense here from Preston. A big three ball there, unable to go. Passmore pushing it ahead. Profit makes it ahead. Oh my word! Izzy Profit with a bucket that I honestly don't know how she made that.
I got no words for you. I wish I could describe what happened.
Yeah, we're gonna have to edit that, send that to Sports Center Top 10 as Profit going to be called on the foul on the other end.
You know what? You let her get away with that foul if you're the refs. You saw something like that, let her do it if she wants.
Profit's first foul of the game going to send Deja Ferguson to the line. The rumbling of the crowd here.
I'm not sure. They're just cheering over everything.
Yeah, they really are. I don't know. They probably have favorite players on both teams.
That's very true. That's very true.
Preston passes ahead to Passmore. Passmore ahead to Chow. Chow outside of McDowell. Now slowing it down, setting up the offense here. Really haven't seen a lot of three-point shooting from this Anderson team as McDowell had a little bit of an off-ball screen there from Chow, making it in and making it once again a 5-point lead here for the Trojans.
I'm glad he pouring out the three-point shooting because it's not just a Trojan thing. It's a both teams thing as a near turnover by Anderson had occurred right there. But Anderson this game has only shot from behind the arc 8 times, 2 for 8. Coker, they shot once. They shot one time. They missed it. They shot one time.
Hey, I think they got the message on that first shot. I believe that one was an air ball, if I remember correctly, from Tillman. And once they had that, Chow unable to get the hook shot to go and going to instead get the foul call there.
I also think it's one of those things where you have to know your brand of basketball. I mean, looking at the numbers aren't everything. But Anderson shooting 29% from the field or from behind the arc this year. Coker shooting 29% from 3. Anderson shooting 24% from 3 on the year. So both teams well below the league average.
Yeah, and one of the issues here for the Trojans, one of the biggest issues was in their game against Wingate, they were 1 for 21 behind the arc.
It's not good.
That's definitely not what you're looking for. And the big difference in the Carson Newman game, they were 9 from 21 from beyond the arc, as they seem to kind of ride or die on that, but seem to have found a little bit of a different brand of basketball. The shot from the free throw line, good. This one for 2. Knight with the basket. McDowell push ahead to Chow. A double screen there. Chow on the inside to Passmore. Passmore with the bucket. Halfway through this third quarter now, Trojans ahead by 5. Been a back and forth third quarter, a dominant second quarter for Coker, and a dominant first quarter for the Trojans. Profit with the foul call, going to be her second. The 6th of the quarter for the Trojans, 0 for the Cobras.
There's a media timeout on the floor.
And with that, we'll get a media timeout. 4:54 left here in the Abney Athletic Center. Your score, Trojans 47, Cobras 42.
Welcome to Mahindra of Anderson. Mahindra of Anderson provides a vast selection of new and pre-owned tractors, utility vehicles, and agricultural equipment. When you're ready to invest in your new tractor or other equipment, our friendly and knowledgeable sales, financing, service, and parts departments ensure an outstanding experience. From selection, ongoing maintenance, and customization,
we value long-term customer relationships by delivering exceptional service.
Come and see us
or visit us online
at mahindraofanderson.com.
(47-42) is your score here, but the Coker Cobras are at the line looking to defend this 7-0 start, progress to an 8-0 start of this season, and the Trojans looking to end this undefeated streak here from the Cobras.
Yeah, and if they cut off the head, I mean, the snake's still not dead yet, and that's what's happening right now. It seems like Anderson did a great job of eliminating the head of this team, which was going to be, entering this game, Tillman. But Tillman's been pretty quiet thus far. And because of that, they thought they were going to have success, kind of pull away. But what we've seen from Coker is their ability to hang in there. And a lot of it's coming from the free throw line.
Yeah, a very aggressive Cobras team has kind of been the difference maker in this game. As you mentioned, Tillman, the top scorer for this Cobras team coming into it, as this press from the Cobras has been a big difference. Another turnover here from the Trojans. This one coming courteous of Chow. Outside a three-pointer, unable to make it was Wassa.
Yeah, Wassa had that nice run where she made about 3 baskets in the second quarter within a 4-minute span. But since then and beforehand, she was quiet.
McDowell with the error there, unable to go with the turnover. You got to stand still. You can't be going. After the made basket, you can move up and down that baseline.
Yeah, another self-inflicted wound. Anderson causing quite a few of those to happen.
Preston on guard with Knight. Down inside to Mitchum. Good to see Mitchum back in the game and healthy. Kyla Kane with the rebound. Passmore with the push ahead. Passmore found his way just in between a couple of cheerleaders there. Probably a little bit scared from the incoming Trojan.
Trojan horse. That Passmore smiling though, 'cause she did take a hard shoulder check by way of Coker.
Passmore looking inside. Eventually finds McDowell. McDowell with the three. Unable to make that one go. A push ahead here from Tillman. Outside to Knight. Back to Tillman as we get the offense set here for Coker. Drive inside. That one off the glass for 2.
Now Tillman now at 8 points. 2 for 8 from the field.
Beautiful transition offense there from the Trojans, something you haven't seen since first quarter.
Yeah, Prophet and Preston finding a nice 1-2 punch with each other. Good chemistry between the two all game.
That one, another foul on the Trojans. That one going to be coming courteous of Passmore. Passmore's second of the night. The interesting thing is the Trojans have had quite a few fouls in the third quarter, but haven't really gotten anybody in foul trouble. The most is Rose Gravel at 3, but even then, you get 5. You're not in too bad of shape.
Yeah, I will say, though, that definitely does hinder Anderson because Gravel won't be able to check into the game until, the fourth quarter. There's 4 minutes left. But when you're going against this Coker team that's been relatively dominant on the boards, you want your best rebounder out there as much as possible. And on top of that, Coker's done a great job scoring in the paint or drawing fouls within there.
Passmore with the transition layup. Head by 5. Push ahead now, coming courteous of Mitchum. Mitchum with her own coast to coast.
I think these teams looking in the mirror and they're seeing the same thing. Both of them applying full court man and scoring in the paint on easy layups once they break it.
Hey, as a commentator, it keeps things interesting. Kane with the transition. Profit with the look around. Unable to get it to go. Defense here from Preston, now from Profit. Wassa with the ball. Wassa going to get the foul call, this time on Profit. Profit's third. Very interested to see if you get Razika back in the game, maybe even Lena Eckel, who we haven't seen today.
Yeah, right now it seems like Anderson's running a pretty tight ship with the rotation. Without Oliver, it's the same 7 players fluctuating. But that has been something they've done for the majority of this season. They run their 5 starters, and then they have about 3 players coming off the bench. They rotate, right? It can be 3 different ones by game, but they find their 3 that fit that game plan, and they just stick to it, keep it a short bench.
Profit now with the ball out to McDowell. Back to Profit. Push ahead to McDowell, out to Preston, now to Passmore. Passmore to Kane, a beautiful pass in transition.
That was a great play. That's how you play the game. You pass the ball, and when you pass, someone's going to be open, especially when you break a press. Beautiful job by all 4 players involved in that possession.
Preston outside, Tillman with the open layup. And they really have given Tillman open shots there on the layup every once in a while. Now to McDowell. McDowell missing Passmore. And going to be another turnover there on the Trojans. Passmore having 6 assists on the night, leading the Trojans with no one over 2.
See, it's crazy because that's not a lot. And obviously, I spoke about Coker earlier. They have 0 ball movement. But I think, that, again, that comes with that transition movement of just attacking fast, because once you have the ball in your hands, you're usually one that just attacks the rim.
Yeah, Kamari Thompson now with 3 assists on the day for Coker, and that's all their assist.
Yeah.
There, another drive inside. Coker tied this one up for the first time in quite some time. Coker is tied with the Trojans. Push inside, Profit now.
The thing that I love about Coker's half-court offense is, although they're not in transition, they make it feel transition-like because there's so many cuts throughout the entire possession. And I'll point it out there, it's pretty obvious, right? Everyone's listening is going to know that it's an obvious statement, but if and maybe when Coker takes the lead, I think you're going to really feel a large momentum swing.
Preston now ahead, outside to Passmore. Passmore, no look pass. Preston with the bucket.
Isaiah Preston now up to 10 points on the night. Excuse me, 12 points.
Preston probably been the most impressive Trojan throughout the night, as she coming into this game hasn't really been a major factor for the Trojans, but has started to become one, especially with tonight's performance. Kane inside with the bucket.
Talk about a back and forth game.
Yeah, you really haven't had any lead changes. I believe no lead changes, but you've had a bunch of close possessions. One swing for another swing, punch after punch. No one going down.
The lefty, okay.
57 all now. Passmore, we're going to get a foul, and it's going to be a blocking foul there.
Number 24, Kristen Knight, the first.
Kristen Knight with the foul there. The junior coming out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Not the worst thing. There's 30 seconds left. At the time, you have 2 fouls to give. You live with playing aggressive, and that's what I'm sure Coker is telling themselves right now. There's 30 seconds. The odds that we're going to get 3 fouls in that time frame pretty slim to none. So let's just play aggressive. Maybe we can force a turnover. If not, they just get the ball out the baseline.
Trojans, I assume, would probably slow this pace down a little bit, probably take what would most likely be the last shot.
Yeah, I think it's a mix, though, because if you find a shot that is a good look, despite the shot clock, you still take it, as we have Preston. Nice and one.
Hey, I'll give you that one as you get the and one there. Preston looking to make this a 3-point lead going into the fourth quarter.
Jose Mario's checking in to give Passmore just a few more minutes of breathing room, or time to rest up before the fourth quarter begins, I should say.
Marios hasn't gotten a lot of time so far, but was about to check in at the end of the half, but didn't because of the missed free throw. That time is able to check in. 15 seconds now on the clock. Coker now looking to get the last basket. Tillman now with the ball and going to have a foul. You do not have a foul to give if you're the Trojans. And Coach Barbary unhappy about that one. So it's going to send Tillman straight to the line. 7:01 is your time remaining.
And Passmore checking back in because now you have one more possession. If you can, you want to get your best scorer on the court.
(59-58), 7.1 seconds left.
Passmore in the game. Now you have an all-guard set plus Don McDowell. Allows you to play a little bit faster.
You got to beat this press early and quickly. Outside to Kane, push ahead to Passmore. Passmore finding an opening, unable to get it there. Is she going to get a shot off on? Gets nothing but air on that one. Well, we have a tied game here.
I was going to say, it's very fitting that entering the fourth quarter is tied at 59 points. Both teams playing hard, playing the same style. We'll see who comes out the winner with 10 minutes remaining in the game.
Well, don't go anywhere. As we said before, 59 all here in the Abney Athletics Center.
We're excited to introduce Trail Tailored Homes. From humble beginnings in the early 1980s, Trail's earliest projects were in residential construction. Today, we're getting back to our roots and taking this natural next step, bringing our company's story full circle. And while our commercial construction endeavors will continue to grow, we're excited to serve our community in a broader way. Trail Tailored Homes, built for generations to come.
59 all, fourth quarter. Anderson Coker couldn't have asked for a better matchup here as we enter into Christmas time here in winter break at Anderson, South Carolina.
Yeah, you get an early Christmas present, a good game, and that's exactly what you want from both teams. You knew this was going to be an interesting matchup because Coker's 7-0, as we've said probably 10 times this broadcast. And Anderson, they're playing like a new season just started with Passmore and McDowell finally back in the lineup.
Some good defense of the aforementioned Passmore. Sheridan getting the rebound. Push ahead now. Finds Preston in the open court. Preston with the jumper. And it's good, 61-59.
I'm curious to see if Coker ever stops pressing because it hasn't worked for them at all. It really hasn't. I mean, they forced a few turnovers, but they're giving up way too many baskets.
Yeah, especially that transition basket. That's really been the only offensive momentum that Anderson's had for quite some time. Passmore now with the drive ahead. No call there. Gonna push ahead, and another turnover there, this time on McDowell. Another errant pass, this time on the Cobras. Push ahead now by Preston, opposite of hers, McDowell. Driving in is Kane. Kane with the bucket.
That was great for both players. I mean, Preston forcing the issue, slowing it down a little bit, but continuing her play because she knew Kane was coming to back her up. Great outlet pass to Kane.
Yeah, really good awareness, good driving down the middle. A three-pointer, the second of the night for the Cobras. One of those rare shots from behind the arc. As we have the play call in from Coach, it's an elbow. Inside to Kayla at the elbow. The two, unable to go. Tillman with the rebound. Passmore on defense. Tillman with the drive. Unable to get that one to go. A little bit too much spin. Passmore with the drive ahead now. On defense. Unable to get that shot to go. A good rebound coming courteous of Myra Mitchum. Now the drive of Tillman and one. If you're Kyla Kane, you got to keep up there.
Yeah, and it's hard to challenge in those situations because you're backpedaling. It's in transition. Normally, you almost got to get out the way in those situations.
Yeah, I agree with some contesting of the shot, but at that point, you just got to let it go if they're right there, because that's really been the only points that Tillman's got. Slowly, Tillman's gotten all the way up to 14. She's about to keep up with her season average here if she can get her 15th point, and she does.
Yeah, I think quietly is the key word when describing this Cobra's offensive attack. Tillman with 15, Ferguson with 16. I mean, they're both top 15 in the sack and points per game, and they're showing you why.
McDowell with the errant pass and the lack of contesting that we talked about there. A good move there, but it's going to give Coker the lead for, I believe, the first time this entire game, as very quickly after that, Preston gets fouled there. That foul on Kristen Knight.
If you're Anderson, you really want to calm the storm. I know it's only them being down by 1 point, but still they've had the lead all game. And so to see it slowly slip away, and now having it officially gone, it can worry you. It can get you shooting some shots you don't normally take. So if you're Anderson, play cool, calm, and collect it.
Yep. As this is the first Coker lead of the night, Trojans opened with a hail of fire there in the first part. A good inside cut there by Passmore, but a good rejection there coming courteous. That one coming courteous of Allen. Allen with the first couple of minutes of the game. Kane, Passmore. Inside, Kyla Kane got fouled by about 3 Cobras there inside.
Yeah, and you could see Michaela Allen wasn't too pleased with that foul call going against her. As she thought that she got all ball. At the end of the day, it's a bang-bang play, and those are hard to officiate.
At the line for the Trojans is Zamaya Passmore, been kind of the star of the game for the Trojans.
Yeah, Passmore shooting 67% from the free throw line. She's been the star of the game, star of the season, honestly. I know she's played, this is her 5th game of the year, but every game she's had a huge impact on this Trojans team.
First one made to tie it up here. We'll see if the Trojans can retake the lead. 64 all.
And it's been really fascinating to see Zamaya Passmore really take off at Anderson because she transferred here last season. She played her. She had a good year, but she was a bit of unknown when she joined the team, and now she's been one of the focal points and a key part to this team.
Largest lead of the night for the Cobras.
I asked the same question about, is Coker ever going to stop doing this man press because it's not working? Is Anderson ever going to stop? I don't know what's going on. At the end of the day, each team has over 60 points. I mean, they're well on pace to going way over their season average. Sometimes you just got to stop doing it and adjust.
Speaking of a quarterback pass there, Sheridan getting rejected there by Diamond Jackson on the other end. A good pass, a good idea, but just not able to finish there with Sheridan. That one to Preston. Preston with a good vertical there. Outside to McDowell. McDowell with the 3. Just going to find the iron on that one. Push ahead this time, Michaela Allen. Tillman once again. Here's my thing defensively with the Trojans is that she only drives to the right-hand side. So I don't get why you're not favoring that inside, as a good pass there from Sheridan finds an open Kyla Kane for 2. So with 6:18 left on the clock, I could see Coach Barbary possibly putting Rose Gravel back in the game, who's been out for quite some time with her 3rd foul. That one going to be last touched by the Cobras.
And it's funny you mention that because also out on the opposite side of the court is going to be Kamara Thompson, right? I mean, it's almost like both coaches don't want to budge because they don't want to see the other center in the game.
So we have some discussion between the officials. The baseline official had it as Anderson ball. The sideline official had it as Cobra ball. And Coach Barbary looking for an explanation. As I believe Coach Barbary is arguing whether that shot clock should have been reset. And I do kind of understand his point. It didn't look like the Trojans ever had possession. Tillman with the running shot there. Passmore now ahead. The Trojans pushing ahead, looking to tie it up here. Passmore unable to find an opening. McDowell unable to get that shot to go. Preston with the rebound. Outside to McDowell. McDowell thought about it from 3. This time takes it. Unable to get this one to go. Preston about had a shot there as coach finally decides to send in Rose Gravel. (68-66). The Cobras ahead here in the Athletic Center.
Timeout called by Coker. I mean, I think that's the first official timeout that isn't a media timeout. Been a long time.
It definitely has been. 5:21, Coker ahead by 2. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to Mahindra of Anderson. Mahindra of Anderson provides a vast selection of new and pre-owned tractors, utility vehicles, and agricultural equipment. When you're ready to invest in your new tractor or other equipment, our friendly and knowledgeable sales, financing, service, and parts departments ensure an outstanding experience. From selection, ongoing maintenance, and customization,
We value long-term customer relationships by delivering exceptional service.
Come and see us
Or visit us online
at MahindraofAnderson.com.
And we are now back here as we look at the stats once again. Coker still lacking a shot from behind the arc, at least made, I should say. The Trojans still ahead by 10% in the field goal category, but Coker way ahead in the free throw category, and that's got to be frustrating if you're Coach Barbary.
Yeah, it definitely has to be. I mean, looking at the assist numbers, Anderson, the reason why they're generating so much scoring is transition and being able to find the next person in that transition. That's why they have 20 assists. You mentioned the free throw line. Coker has had 23 attempts from the line, Anderson only 10. And Coker's made 18 of them. That's difference right there. That's a 12-point difference because Anderson's only made 6 of theirs. 7 on the shot clock.
A drive inside. Mitchum unable to make it go. Can they get an offensive rebounding as...
Jump ball? Is that what we're thinking?
Well, it looked like it hit off the rim, which if it's the rim, it should have gotten reset.
Well, nonetheless, jump ball going way of Anderson. 68-66. I'm excited to see what happens with Anderson, especially with Rose Gravel, and I wonder if that's going to change their attack mode, knowing that when she's in there, if they shoot a mid-range, if they shoot a three-point shot, there's still a good chance that she can come down with the rebound and provide a second chance opportunity.
Yeah. Got an aggressive play there from Mitchum. Done a very good job with Passmore throughout this game. Passmore at the drive inside, unable to make it go. Finally getting the rebound is Kirsten Knight. Mitchum now playing point. Off the screen, Sheridan now guarding. Inside, McDowell unable to get the rebound. Is the Trojans finally able to get it? So, oh my word, a quarterback-like pass. And Gravel gets the and one.
You know, I'll tell you, that's one of those plays, that's one of those passes where if you're the coach, you're not happy with it, and then you see it go in, and you just live with it. I mean, Passmore, she's a wizard when she has the ball in her hands. I'm telling you, I think we have Patrick Mahomes on the court. I really, really do. Travis Kelce in the paint.
Yeah, and that means that we have a quick break, 68 all. When we get back, Rose Gravel shooting one. $68 all, 4:15 on the clock. Gravel shooting one. So what are you looking for in these last 4 minutes of this game from the Coker perspective? What are you looking for?
From the Coker perspective, I'd say keep playing your brand of basketball, attacking the paint. I mean, I think I sound like a broken record, but Anderson's to keep up this man press and to keep it up. It's going to allow for you to have a lot of your style of looks, right? Where you just cut and you're in the paint, you get high percentage looks. So that's what I'm doing if I'm Coker. Defensively, I'm cutting out the whole man press because it's been a disaster class. I'm picking up man-to-man because quite honestly, in a half-court set, there's no one on this court for Anderson that I'm worried about. No one. McDowell's a phenomenal player, but she's been quiet. Passmore is good when she's in transition, but if you pick up half court, there won't be any transition for her to go through. So go for some high percentage looks and run your half court set defensively.
Half court set defensively here for the Trojans. Passmore on defense against Tillman. Tillman, the leading scorer for the Cobras with 17, and a bucket coming courteous Deja Ferguson. Ferguson now the leading scorer with 18. As we kind of finally got rid of that man press. I guess they were listening to you a little bit. There was like a trail defender, but not really press.
About time. I mean, sign me to a contract.
And that going to be a 5th foul on Gravel. That is...
Wow, 5th foul.
That's a frustrating foul.
Anderson foul number 15, Rose Gravel, her 5th.
Oh, that's a tough foul.
Second.
up to exit the game permanently. You know, I'm curious to see. She has been out the game for a long time, but with Gravel officially out, I mean, granted, she's been out a lot, right, because she's had foul trouble. Do you think Coker, I mean, throws in Carissa Thompson, right? Their leading rebounder, a presence in the paint. Anderson now down their best defender in the paint.
Yeah.
It could help generate some scoring, but more particularly, second chance opportunities.
Yeah, if I'm Anderson, I almost would have put in Profit there and played guard heavy a little bit, try to play some transition defense as Kyla Kane going to get the jump ball call there. And it's going to stay with the Cobras. Last jump ball went to the Trojans. Good job there being able to keep that ball with the Cobras. Inside was Jackson. Now outside to Mitchum. Mitchum with the drive in. Unable to find an opening. Jackson with the rebound. Finding its way inside. That's just been a struggle all throughout this game for the Trojans, that it's just been one of those issues that you really cannot do that much about. As Kyla Kane, another transition basket. Kane now in double digits. Preston now on guard, now on pass floor. Mitchum with the basket, or Mitchum with the ball. We're gonna get a travel here. (71-72), 2:33 left. McNow with the pass into Sheridan, and speaking of Sheridan, Sheridan has been super quiet throughout this game. No rebounds, no nothing.
Nice mid-range shot. Didn't fall for Preston, but good look. Good look nonetheless.
The only thing that I don't like about that mid-range shot is that I would have liked a little jab step, like at least attempt to like drive inside, but no drive inside there. Starting to come to the end of this game. Well, possibly. We could see overtime with how well these teams have battled.
We could see overtime.
Outside with the ball is Ferguson. Ferguson trying to find its way inside, unable to do so. Sheridan ahead. Passmore somehow finding that. A little bit of a magician's trick. And one.
I mean, that's bad on bad in terms of if I'm Coker, I'm not liking that offensive set at all, because literally all that was happening was Ferguson was dribbling and no one was moving. There was 8 seconds on the shot clock, and she took a, I mean, it's not her fault, but there was 2 defenders on her way. No one was moving, and then you get out in transition. You thought you have a turnover. Passmore gets the ball back in her hands, and one opportunity coming up. She's been killing them. About to, if this is a made free throw, she'll be the leading scorer on the night for Anderson with 17. And yeah, what were you saying something about leading scorer or something?
Yeah, I was. As Passmore with 16 on the night, along with Preston and McDowell with 13. And that's going to be a moving screen, I believe, there. That going to be called on Diamond Jackson.
And here comes Thompson.
So after a foul fest by the Trojans in the third quarter, we now have a foul fest from the Cobras in the fourth.
Yeah, definitely a worse time to have it. I mean, there's 90 seconds left in regulation.
And it's definitely not something you want to have in the fourth quarter, because the fourth quarter, you may be fouling if you get behind. Trojans ahead, 73-72, a critical basket upcoming for the Trojans. If you're able to get it, extend it to a 3 or a 4-point lead. That's a big deal, as Kane shooting from the elbow.
That's her shot. That's her shot. She's been knocking that down all night.
And I like the little jab step there from Kane. A little jab step getting inside. Ferguson.
Wow, a late call right there going against the Trojans.
McDowell getting the foul call, her third. At the moment, nobody in for the Trojans is really in foul trouble. Diamond with 3, but with 1 minute and 8 seconds left, I'm not that concerned about it. 75-72 is on the clock. Coach Barbary, he's been standing like this about half the game, and I know you can't see me, but I'm just standing straight up with my arms up in the air.
The field goal is good.
Yeah. First free throw is made by Ferguson. Ferguson been a presence for the Cobras tonight. Looking for point number 19, and she gets it. Back to a 1-point lead here for the Trojans. Sheridan with the ball, struggling a little bit, intercepted, and the basket is good.
Well, the man works, 76-75. Cobras take the lead with less than a minute remaining.
McDowell ahead to Preston. And again, I don't get why Sheridan is getting the ball down there instead of Passmore or Preston. But we'll have to see what Coach Barbary is doing here as Trojans down by 1. Preston inside, finding her way. The Magician finds it in. 35 seconds left. Passmore on defense. Ahead, Tillman now giving it, or Passmore giving it off to Tillman. Preston now on Mitchum. Mitchum with the drive inside, unable to make it. Gravel with the ball. We got a timeout here by the Trojans. I'm going to be honest, I don't know why you're calling a timeout there.
I like the timeout because you can put in your best free throw shooters. You know that Coker's going to have to foul, right? I mean, you can round the shot clock that way. You're up a point. So it allows for you to reset your team knowing that they're going to play aggressive and get your free throw shooters in there. Because I will agree to one extent, right? If they didn't call a timeout, they'd get past the half-court line pretty easily untouched. But then you run the risk of somebody on the court who can't make a free throw being the one that's fouled. So it's not a good look in that situation.
In my opinion, the only reason why I say I wouldn't call a foul there is Passmore had the ball. Let her drive, get past half-court, take off 3 or 4 seconds, and then if they foul her, great. You send her to the line, who's a pretty good free throw shooter. But we'll see here. 17.7 seconds left for the Trojans. And in college, we do advance the ball, so the ball will be up there. So we had a bit of a basketball snafu here for a second.
Yeah, so somebody's throwing their balls at us. What's going on here? All right. Not to the broadcast booth. Watch out. But Anderson right now, I mean, if they can pull away with a victory right now, I think that could really send this season in a new direction for the Trojans.
Yep. And, hey, if you have nothing to do Saturday afternoon, I'll be here. You can catch Anderson UVA Wise. Anderson will be playing another conference game here. Sheridan, the inbounder, and as you said, tacking on some of their best free throw shooters. Profit now in.
For Coker, you might try and force a steal in the last couple seconds. I don't know why you're not fouling now. You have to now. They finally do with 10 seconds remaining. The interesting thing is, let's just fast forward. Let's say Anderson knocks these both down, right? They're up 3. It's going to be, I have 2 storylines I'm thinking about. Does Anderson foul Coker a few? Yeah, foul him a couple times, not let them get set, and then, runs a few seconds off the clock. And then as far as Coker goes, who do you trust shooting the 3 here? This whole season, no one on their team has been a reliable 3-point shooter. Yeah. They haven't shot any this entire game. I mean, they've shot 3. Yeah, over 2.
Over 3.
Over 3. I mean, a lot of question marks remaining.
Profit does hit both of them. So we're going to get a timeout here.
Yeah, I was going to say a smart timeout. Like you said, the advance to the half-court line, allows for you to maybe have a set play out of the timeout. And with 10 seconds left, you definitely have the possibility to get a quick 2 off, right? Get an easy look, about 7 seconds remaining, and then, postpone the idea of having to shoot a 3 later.
Yeah. The one thing that I would say, if you're Anderson and you're Coach Barbary in this huddle, you say, do not foul, because if you foul, it better be on the court, because you cannot give them an and 1. That is a big deal, because like we said earlier, they can't shoot the 3 ball. So as long as you keep it in a position in which you keep the basket within reach, you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Okay, so inbounding here for the Cobras. I believe that's going to be that's Tillman. Tillman inside. Down to 7.
Thompson's the one you would want to foul, but 5 seconds, quick basket by by Coker.
Yep, a quick basket, but that did take 5 seconds off the clock. 5.3 seconds left now. And if you're Anderson, what you really need to do is you really got to get it inbounded. You really cannot afford a turnover, and you got to make sure that your defense is there.
Obviously, pressure adds a little element to it, but with that said, if you're Anderson, the one thing you got to be thankful about the aggressive defense Coach is playing is you've seen everything they got when it comes to trying to prevent an inbounds pass, trying to force a turnover off the inbounds.
Coach Barbary drawing up a play in the huddle. We'll see what it is as we come out of it. I could see an off-ball screen here. There is a possibility of that, of an off-ball screen. Sheridan, once again, your inbounder. I could see McDowell possibly coming out on this, maybe that, or running around Passmore. As we check a couple of things here with the refs. About a second comes off the clock, 4.4 to play. Trojans, and more specifically, Izzy Profit heading to the line. Following this game here on Flow Sports, don't go anywhere as we have the men's side of this matchup between Anderson University Trojans and the number 17 Coker Cobras coming to town.
Are also undefeated.
Yep. Both teams are 7-0 for both the men and the women, and they're both 5-0 in conference. It's kind of very, very symmetrical. I like it. Very symmetrical. 81-78 is your score, 4.4 to play now. So as we're looking at this final 4 seconds, what's your play call?
Well, I'll start off with Anderson real quick. I'm not fouling. I'm not even coming close because at the end of the day, you don't know what Coker's going to do. And I think the easiest thing for a team that doesn't shoot the three a lot, a team that hasn't necessarily been the most effective, you shoot it off the catch, right? You shoot off the inbounds because more times than not, it'll be an open look, right? If you're rolling up the screen, it'll be an open look. So I wouldn't foul if I'm Anderson at all. And if I'm Coker, I mean, I agree with what you were saying earlier. Run some off-ball screens, try and free somebody up. I'm not too familiar with anyone in particular I'd want shooting. I mean, I think the hot hand has been Ferguson, so that's who I want shooting the ball, but there's not like one dominant three-point shooter out there on the court.
Ferguson, Tillman has been the driver as we have a little box and one look here for the Cobras. Tillman in the inbound. A good foul there by Passmore. Right on the inbound, that's what you're looking for. 1.1 seconds come off the clock, or second comes off the clock.
And you see their set, it seemed like they were trying to get Ferguson the ball, hoping that once Tillman had it, they would bring the pressure onto her, leaving Ferguson open.
.3 seconds inside. The three ball from Tillman, no good. And the Trojans in the perfect season hopes of the Coker Cobras.
And Anderson winning 3 of their past 4, winning the back-to-back games, their first road game against Lincoln Memorial, and by far their biggest victory of the season against Coker because they beat a 7-0 Coker team. And I think if you're Anderson, you're feeling really good vibes because you beat one of the best teams in the SAC. On top of that, you have some momentum going. You have McDowell back, you have Passmore back, and they found a way to win.
Most definitely here as the Trojans celebrate here now 3-4 in conference play. And you mentioned a massive win, something you most definitely needed heading in to a big conference matchup against UVA Wise here. As you see the men's basketball team coming on the court for the Trojans, followed by the Coker Cobras. And well, it's been a heck of a game. 81-78 is your final score here. Don't go anywhere as we have the men's side of this matchup on Flow Sports.